Hi everyone, Sarah Pacaro here. Today's video is going to be about your self-worth and where it is. If you have been in a toxic or unhealthy relationship, in an emotionally unavailable or an emotionally abusive relationship, you have more than likely noticed the significant impact that it's had on your self-worth. An emotionally unavailable, emotionally abusive person, a narcissist, does not care about you. They don't care about your emotional well-being, your spiritual well-being, your mental stability. In fact, they thrive on your mental instability, because in all of the rages, in the places that they can trigger you and you react in what more than likely, it doesn't feel like it in that moment, but on after you've come through that and you're looking back at that situation. Here's the problem. Most people often get stuck in going back to that and ruminating and reminiscing and replaying those scenarios. Your inner mind gets stuck on those, and your self-worth, every time you go back to one of those situations or experiences, it's like it gets. I've had people and clients that I work with that describe it as like this armor. You get a really big chink in your armor, or you get a crack in your armor, and you get a dent in your armor. So after a multitude of situations and experiences like that, whether it's from your upbringing, from having a really toxic, unhealthy environment in your upbringing with your parents, or whether it's with a chosen partner, whether it's with a marriage, over time, you feel like your armor is so dented, so damaged, so cracked that there are holes in it. And it's no longer something that serves you or protects you. It feels like this heaviness and this weight that you're carrying. And when they continue to do things like that, or even outside of that specific relationship, whether it's in your relationship with your boss or friends, your self-worth, with every crack, dent, and chink in your armor, or the holes that are now in this armor, your self-worth gets diminished. So where is your self-worth? Is it, if you've been in these types of situations, had these types of relationships, more than likely it's not up here. More than likely it's in the toilet or in the tanks. People use words and metaphors and language to describe how they're feeling inside. And more often than not, you are at a loss for words to really, truly describe how you feel when you're in the tanks or in the toilet. Your body physically responds to that. You feel heavy, your shoulders begin to cave in, especially when you are in the environment of a person who triggers you. Maybe you're out of that past narcissistic relationship. Maybe you're an adult now and you no longer live with your parents, but even the thought of maybe an upcoming anniversary or birthday or holiday when you will have to interact or engage with them, even just the thought of talking to that person or being around them, or being, thinking about them reaching out to you, sends your heart racing. It sends you this anxiety that seems to spiral out of control, and then it takes away from your effectiveness at work or your ability to be present with your friends or your family. It's all of those experiences are indications of inner unhealed traumas, inner unhealed wounds, and your self-worth. The feeling that you deserve good things. Maybe you desire good things. You really want good things in your life. Maybe it's that you want to, go to your boss and ask for a promotion. Maybe it's you want to find a different job, but the thought of interviewing and saying, answering the question of why should we hire you? And you're thinking, why should they? They shouldn't. They should hire that other person. And that other person's probably better than me, more qualified than me. And maybe I've done the numbers and I know that I need this much to live, and I can't dare go in there and ask for that. So you sell yourself short, and you maybe are highly, highly qualified, but you come in at a really low pay grade, even though you deserve to be paid, let's just call it 50,000, but you accept a position that's at 35 or 40, and you can't even live off of that. That's because your self-worth is in the tanks, is in the toilet, because all of those experiences that you've had have have put little chinks in your self-worth armor. And now it's down here and you're wondering, well, what do I do to get it back up here? I'm listening to affirmations, I'm trying meditations, I'm reading self-help books or self-development books. And every morning I'm looking at myself in the mirror and I'm going, you've got this. And I'm high-fiving myself, and it all seems so fake. It seems so irritating. It seems so annoying. Well, the reason why is because you can do things consciously. You can read the books and you can do what they say, but unconsciously, your beliefs believe that of those people and those experiences. If for ever they told you or made you feel that there's nothing you can do to change the situation, now internally and unconsciously you feel helpless, you feel hopeless, you feel unworthy, you feel undeserving, and your self-worth is tanked. It's like negative. If there were a positive, and let's say the highest you could get is at a 10, and you see these people on social media and all these people that you look up to and that you aspire to be, and let's say that they're a 10 out of 10, you're a 0. Well, you probably think, no, it would feel nice to even be a 0. I feel like I'm a -10 and I feel stuck in this void of self. Like, I don't even know how I'm stuck in this hole, a -10 of self-worth. Like, even excuse me, even a 0 would be nice. And you don't know how you're going to climb up and climb out of this, because you've tried all of the things that everyone else says. Oh, if you do this, or this worked for me, just go do this. And then your self-esteem and your self-worth will skyrocket, your confidence will soar. And you invest in things, whether it's programs or time or money, into trying to do these things to figure it out, to increase your self-esteem, increase your self-worth, change how you feel about yourself, break out of that negative dialogue, and none of that is working. That is because it has been ingrained and programmed unconsciously. So consciously you're saying, no, I am great and I'm qualified and I am worthy and deserving of love and everything that I want. But what's happening is your self-worth has been programmed unconsciously to really not feel that way and to really not believe those things. I had someone that I was on a strategy call with to see if we were a good fit to work together. And this is exactly what got brought up in the way that I explained it to her, because she said the very same thing. She said, Sarah, I'm doing yoga, I'm doing meditation, I'm trying all of those, different things that are out there to have you purge all of this stuff, like the what do they call it? Those like spiritual journeys and retreats, and where you get poison from the tree frog or whatever, and then you purge it up. And she said, I was so energetically blocked that my first purge, like barely anything happened. Or whatever it's called, I don't know. But she said I was so blocked that barely anything came up. So, I did it again, and then I did it again. And I think it did help a little bit, but there's still so much more in there. And that so much more in there is what people say when they're really talking about, they feel the unconscious blocks, they feel the unconscious programming, and consciously they're going against that. They're doing this consciously, but unconsciously, these thoughts and beliefs that they have about themselves are not in alignment. They don't match up. So consciously, you can be saying, I am enough, I am enough, I am enough, I am enough every day when you look at yourself in the mirror and you wake up and you get ready for your day. And today's going to be a great day. Yay. But unconsciously, you don't believe that, you don't feel that. And so there's resistance, there's an internal battle, there's an internal struggle, there's an internal fight. Well, no one likes to fight. You've been in fights all your life, right? And you've been in an internal battle and fight with yourself. You've been in fights in relationships that didn't work out. You've been in fights with your parents. And so now you're trying to like fight fire with fire, right? You're trying to say, well, if I just fight through this, if I just power through this, then I will be happy. Then I'll feel at peace. Then I'll feel this lightness about me. And that is not true. It doesn't work that way. You have to get to the unconscious programming and rewire it, reprogram, change it. And that can only be done, right, when you're working in that area. But so many people try to achieve that by working consciously on it. By like I said, doing the exercises that you read about or are told to do in journals or notebooks or self-development courses or programs, and not to just credit those things. They can and do work, but they are so much more powerful, so much more efficient, so much more beneficial when your unconscious programming is aligned with that. So it does take both. So if you're just working in one area, you're probably not getting results as fast as you want. You're probably not feeling the way that you want to feel. And you're feeling like this is taking forever and life is short and I only have so much time. So if you're truly looking for that alignment, excuse me, you've got to really work in both areas so that you can get that exponential, incredible, powerful change that you're looking for. And realize, okay, my self-worth is in the toilet, it's tanked. And the first things that I always say to people are awareness and acceptance. Awareness of it. Well, you're going to feel when if you're being honest with yourself and you're numbing out, whether it's with food or alcohol or this little guy right here, like social media, and you're sitting there mindlessly numbing, scrolling, and then finding that your mind goes into this dark place of judgment and comparison against everyone else's highlight reel. Or if you don't do anything, if you have like zero motivation, you know that you need to put yourself out there and get a better job, or maybe you're someone who is trying to get into doing something for yourself. I work with so many people who are trying to grow their own business as well, or go on this venture, or even reconnect and have deeper, more meaningful friendships or relationships, but they're afraid to put themselves out there. They're afraid to expand. They're afraid to grow because of the fear of judgment, the fear of rejection, the fear of the thoughts of what are other people going to think about me or say about me. And so they stay small, they stay isolated, they stay in this like frozen state of paralyzation or procrastination where they don't do anything to move themselves forward. And they want to take action, they want to do all those things, but all those things take action. That is because unconsciously their self-worth is just in the tank and they have all those thoughts. Well, I'll do it tomorrow. And then maybe you carve out the time tomorrow, and tomorrow becomes today, and you carve out that time to really go for it, right? And then you sit there and you think, oh, I don't know what to do. Oh my gosh. And then you do a lot of nothing. And then before you know it, that time that you've carved out has gone by, and now it's been 2 hours or 3 hours, and now, well, you've run out of time, and now you got to go pick up the kids and start dinner and do laundry, and it's like, well, tomorrow's another day, and then you find yourself stuck and caught in that perpetual cycle. And it really is all connected to your self-worth. All of the relationships you have, all of the opportunities you have or don't have are connected to your self-worth. If you're not growing, because of that inner dialogue that is running, because of that inner programming from those past experiences. And really, to truly break out of that, you have to work in both the conscious and unconscious realm. The most significant change and impact that you're going to have is when you're working with the unconscious, because it's 95% of our mind. Consciously, I mean, if you look up any study, 5% of our mind is conscious while 95% is unconscious. So if your self-worth is really locked into how you perceive yourself, what you think about yourself, how you feel about yourself, what dialogue is occurring when you're comparing yourself to other people, when you are on social media, or even the thought of putting yourself out there, all of that has been ingrained and integrated into your mind. And when you look at yourself in the mirror, if you first see something that you hate about yourself, oh my God, like my nose is like, I really should get a note. How much is Botox again? How much is it per unit? And you start to sit there and nitpick and criticize yourself. That is all connected and related to and linked to your self-worth. And the self-worth is found in those beliefs that you have about yourself, in those engagements and interactions that you had with the people that were really, really important to you in your life. And maybe it was a past partner, and maybe you're not divorced, and you feel like, well, I can't put myself out there. I would love to have a healthy relationship and, a partner and find the one, but they're not going to want me. Why would they want me? Well, that's self-worth again, raising its hand, going, hey, I need to be changed. I need to be different. If you're going to feel safe to even put yourself out there and go for what you want in any area of your life, really. So if your self-worth feels like it's at a -10 or -2 or at a 0 or even at a 2, and you want to improve it and increase it, truly transforming and changing your inner and unconscious beliefs about yourself, healing from those past pains and traumas that keep it at that number and at that level and at that layer that it is, that if it stays at, you're not going to improve. The quality of your life won't change. You're not going to feel safe to be seen or heard or put yourself out there. And I'm not just saying on social media like this, but in relationships, in friendships, in opportunities, in things that you've always dreamed and desired of doing. You're not going to feel the confidence, the motivation, and the self-worth to go for it. And you know that if you did, that would just be freeing. You could actually begin living instead of just like this kind of crap life I've created for myself, right? Because life is what you make it. It's a series of choices, right? And you're always, I love this phrase, you're always one decision away from a completely different life. You're always one choice away from a completely different life. In the past, in the narcissistic relationships that I was in, when I finally put that stake in the ground and chose to leave, that's when everything changed. And it wasn't leave or say that I was going to leave and then get back together. It was when I finally said, I'm going to leave. Prior to me being able to get to that point, it did take beginning to work on my self-worth, beginning to work on my faith in myself, my trust in myself, my belief in myself, the confidence that I had. It began, I needed to begin to shift all of that before I could leave, because otherwise I just stayed stuck in that same like messed up internal space. So if that's where you're at and that's what you're ready to completely transform and change, I would love to talk to you to see if you're a good fit for my program and or if we're a good fit to work together one-to-one. So you can find information in the links below this video to reach out and to connect, and hope you do. And I look forward to talking to you very soon.